Next up, at UFC Denver, we have another new fight. Jasmine Jasudavicius was already on this card. She was going to smoke Vivian Araujo. I had a full money line bet on her. I was very excited for her to win that fight and just ragdoll her parlays. She was good to go. And you guys know me. A full unit money line bet for me is, I'm not typically that guy, let alone as early as I had it. And then she lost her opponent. She got a new opponent, Fatima Kline. I'm going to mention the line movement here. What you don't see is the full swing. So right off the rip, they said Jasmine Jasudavicius is a minus 250 favorite. Fatima Kline plus 210 underdog. That makes sense. Fatima Kline is a little undersized here. She's stepping up on short notice. Jasmine's pretty good. That made sense. Immediately, within hours, Fatima Kline became the minus 200 favorite. And Jasmine Jasudavicius became the plus 170 underdog. And now the line has full swung back and it's just even money. The movement was absolutely crazy. And it had me being like, what am I missing? What don't I know here? So I had to do the deep dive research. And obviously I didn't know anything about Fatima, so I had to do the research no matter what anyway. But we got Fatima Kline, undefeated in her career, as I mentioned, making a short notice UFC debut, taking on Jasmine Jasudavicius.
Stay vicious.
10-3 in her career, 3-2 in her last 5. She is coming off that submission win over Priscilla Caceres. Fatima Kline is the new side of this fight. And I did the research. Turns out she's basically Erin Blanchfield, but a little better in a couple of places. She's a pressure grappler who is very dangerous on the ground. She's got a loose striking style. She'll bounce on her toes. She'll plot forward. When the distance is closed, she'll fire right hands and shoot takedowns right behind them. On the ground, she immediately starts working, usually throwing a ton of strikes, and as soon as you look to cover up or move out of the way, something's going to get snatched up. She tries to sneak in those submissions and then get it done. She's got plenty of cardio, big takedowns, and she is a pretty solid prospect. This is a massive test for her, though. She's fighting Canadian wrestler Jasmine Jasudavicius. And I like to point this out. She isn't just a wrestler in MMA. She didn't take it up just a couple of years ago. She has been wrestling her entire life. She competed at an incredible neck. She's got the wrestler neck, the wrestler attitude, and she's been competing her entire life. She represented Canada. She's done all the things. So she's an actual true wrestler. She sets a nice pace. She will engage a striking match. She'll hang out. She'll throw a bunch of strikes before she'll work in some takedowns. She's got a solid clinch where she'll control the body, throw some heavy knees, and then look to get you to the ground. Fantastic hips. So if you shoot first, she will win the scramble. Very accomplished wrestler, as I mentioned, and she's coming off that late finish over Priscilla Caceres, where the striking look improved from her previous fight, which was Tracy Cortez. This is a very different matchup for Jasmine Jasudavicius. Jasmine was going to take down Vivian and beat Vivian up. That's what was going to happen in that fight. I was very confident in that. I don't know if Jasmine's going to take down Fatima. I think she should. I don't think she should be afraid of the grappling. I think she should take her down. I'll trust the wrestling base over 115-pounders bottom jiu-jitsu game. But what she might end up doing is engaging in the striking. And then she's going to get shot on. And then once she gets shot on, now she's defending takedowns. And then it's a weird look, and we don't know what the judges are going to do. It is short notice. I do love Jasmine. I trust Jasmine's wrestling. I think Jasmine's going to be bigger physically. I think she's going to move forward, pressure forward, hopefully get the takedowns, not stick around for a striking match. And I'm not saying that because I think Fatima's a better striker. I'm saying that because if Jasmine's not pushing the wrestling, Fatima will. And if she does sneak in a takedown, getting up is going to be a lot harder. If she does just shoot takedowns, even though she's not successful, well, she's doing something, and the judges might like that. So I am going to pick Jasmine. She is going to be the pick. And just the other day, I was texting with Jacob. I'm like, oh, Jasmine's plus 150 right now. I missed the plus 170. I'm not sure what to do. And Jacob, in no uncertain terms, was like, don't be a pussy. Just bet on her. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for the plus 3.5. Then the line corrected itself. It's even money. I did not get that bet. But I am going to pick Jasmine. Sketch, who do you think wins this fight?
Yeah, the other half of that story is I told you don't be a fucking pussy and just bet on her, and then I went ahead and just bet on her. So I got her plus 145, I think, plus 140, something like that. So I do have a bet on Jasmine, and there's going to be a few breakdowns on this card where, obviously we like to break down and give you the technical analysis. I think Angela is probably the best at that as far as what fighters do best and what's going to work inside of a fight, and I'll kind of tag along there, and I'll make my own breakdowns. There's a lot of fights on this card because of elevation, short notice, weird shit going on. where my breakdowns are just going to come down to who I think is more of a dog, who I think has more heart, who I think can grind out these fights. There's probably 4 or 5 fights where that's all it's going to come down to. In this fight, it's going to be Jazz to me. We have an undersized, short notice opponent coming in that wants to do the same type of things that Jazz is going to do. I know Jazz works hard. I know that she can outgrind pretty much anybody. And I know that Kline might come in and win the first round, get the takedowns, and we're going to be like, oh my God. And you know what's going to happen is those odds are probably going to balloon plus 350, plus 400 on the Jazz side. I'm probably going to live bet that because I believe Jazz is going to take over in the second, in the third rounds of this fight and be able to win this decision. So no matter how the first round looks, I just am going to go with the dog here. And I think Jasmine's just an absolute fucking dog. And Kline, as you mentioned, with that Blanchfield camp, those coaches are fucking clueless. So I have no idea, or I have a great idea that if Kline starts running into issues, there is no adjustments being made. You listen to her corner in that Blanchfield-Farrell fight, easiest lock of the week of all time, because the second she couldn't do one thing, the corner was just like, just keep trying. There was no adjustments being made. It's a terrible fucking corner. It's the same corner it's going to be in Kline's corner. She's probably going to have success. Things are going to start going south, and they're not going to know what to do to make adjustments, and Jasmine's going to take over and win this decision.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the Jasmine side as well. I do wish I had the courage just a few days ago to make that bet, but it is what it is. Jakey Boy did it, and hopefully that comes through. The wild swing is crazy. Why do you think at one point in time, like somebody bet on Fatima at minus 170 and pushed her to minus 200? Why do you think that is?
Well,
does that not seem
FOMO.
nuts?
I think it's just stocks. Like anytime you see a stock blow up like 300% in one day, and it's still going up, you're like, why are people still buying this? It's about to crash. Like you can't just keep buying the stock that exploded. Eventually, it's just gonna. Who is buying it up there? But people always buy it at the very top. There's always going to be buyers.
Like, I understand the Luana Santos movement.
FOMO.
It's slow and steady. You're looking at it, yes, she should win. It's slow and steady. A few of these are slow and steady. But the rocket ship just
it's
all
people
the way up
see it moving. Like, if you're just sitting there
crap.
watching, all of a sudden you see it, boom, 140, boom, 160. It's like, oh, shit. They fucked up.
This is funny, like Hamza in this
Jim,
game crypto.
That is crazy.
You know what's funny? I'll pin this. We'll talk about it when I finish this. I learned a lot about it the other day. We do have $8,400 in. No, it was a full-blown YouTube video.
That's why I saw a funny comment that said something like, anytime somebody says, oh, I read a story about that.
Yeah, no one's reading. No one's reading. Fatima Kline, $8,400 in DraftKings Fantasy. She's at that favorite dollar point. And if you are one of the people that bet on her when she was minus 170, well, then get her at $8,400 in DraftKings. I think Jasmine wins. I'm going to get her at the sub 800 or 8,000 price point. So I'm going to do it. The takedowns, the control. I don't think there's going to be a finish here, but I'll take the takedowns, the control, and all of that for under $8,000. Yes, please. Jakey Boy, do you agree?
It would not be surprising to me if Jasmine finds a way to finish this girl in the third round.
I did not touch the 2.5. I was thinking about over 2.5. I did not touch the 2.5.
I rewatched that Tracy and Jasmine fight, obviously because Tracy on this card.
Jasmine looked good in that fight, dude.
Dude, she is so fucking relentless. I mean, she just fucking, and that's the thing too. And we'll talk about it on the Tracy side. But people are like, "What about Tracy's cardio for fight?" It's like Rose is not gonna act like that. I promise you that. Rose is not gonna act like Jasmine was just. Her pressure is fucking insane.
Yeah. No, and she looked good in that fight. She literally, the striking was actually the difference, which is surprising, but she looked good in that fight. But if you do want to unlock all the picks, the bets, the tools, the round line leans, the new prop hunter, and more, go to WeWantPicks.com. It's freaking $10. It's $10 for an entire month. A month is going to get you this card, the next card. You're going to get UFC 304, the card after that. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Couple of things to talk about before I move on here. Joel S. said, just remember that little girl fighter jumped in the injury. That's from the vlog. That was Vanessa Demopoulos. We saw her. It was after the press conference.
That was just a 14-year-old girl. Angela was like, jump into my arms.
That was Vanessa Demopoulos.
I never even thought if you didn't know who that was, how weird that picture looks.
That was it. If you check out the vlog, you can see how excited because I asked her, I'm like, will you do the jump? And she's like, yes, that's my favorite. The funniest part about all of this,
I put my hand on her back. I was like, ooh, that was moist.
Okay. I don't edit the Fight Foods vlogs. Somebody else edits those. I don't have editing skills, but I just send all the clips and I'll type some notes and thoughts I have. One of the ideas I had that he didn't use was I tweeted that picture of me holding Vanessa. It's also in the vlog, her jumping the video of it. But I tweeted the picture. And then my wife, all the comments on Twitter were like, oh, Angelo's in the doghouse. Angelo's sleeping on the couch. Like all the comments were like, oh, Angelo's wife's pissed right now. And then Tiffany, my wife, sends a text message to me and Jacob of that picture, zoomed into my hand, circled it, because I don't wear a wedding ring. I never wear a wedding ring. And she goes, I guess my husband's single. Like, she was not happy about that. So I was like, you should show this clip, show the tweet, zoom into it, and then zoom out with just Tiffany hating on me with the, oh, no. And the last thing, that Kamzat crypto thing, did you see what Sean Strickland tweeted? What am I missing?
Someone said, shut the fuck up. It's live. Go, let's get on with it. Nobody cares about the bullshit. I don't know why that's so funny.
Yeah, well, he can fuck off. That Kamzat crypto thing, did you see what Sean Strickland tweeted?
No.
He basically was like, he said it's 100% a scam. I get those offers all the time. And then I went down a rabbit hole, that whole crypto zoo and like all these other, like basically the scam. And it probably wasn't Hamzat's. I guess somebody did some research and it was his like crypto wallet and stuff like that. But basically what it is they convince you to promote a coin. They invent a coin. They own a huge chunk of it. A whole bunch of people buy it, skyrocketing the value. They dump their huge chunk, and then it's worth literally nothing. Everybody's stuck holding
Oh, no shit.
the leftover.
Thanks for
Well,
that
a lot of
fucking
people
mansplation.
Mansplation? Well, only one of us is a man, so I've got to do the explaining.
And then they rug it. That's what they call rugging.